Praise the Lord, beloved. Listen, this is Heaven's Ambassador Leonard Ford, and I'm here to ask that question again. Will you obey God under pressure? You know, I know you said yeah, but will you? Did you when COVID was here? Did you 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023 when the heat was on? Been okay lately. We're going to look at these Hebrew boys in this furnace. It said in verse 13, Nebuchadnezzar, no, that's too soon. We got to go back. Got to go back to about verse 10. Thou, O king, has made a decree. I'm in Daniel 3 and 10. O king, has made a decree. The king has made a decree, and I want to see something here. That every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psalter, the duclamer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image, and whosoever faileth to fall, whosoever falleth not down, you fail to comply, you fail to line up, should be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Said there are certain Jews, there's some Hebrew boys around here, some boys you done gave a position, they insubordinate. They dishonoring you. They dissing you, king. They disrespecting you. They ain't bowing down. We all bowing down. Why they ain't bowing down? You done set them over to providence. These men have not regarded thee. They're not, we say in the hood, they ain't studying you, king. They're not concerned about you. They ain't listening to you. They ain't honoring what you said. You ain't their boss. They serve another God. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They brought these men before the king. He upset now. He said unto them, is it true? For real? Straight up? Y'all got the unmitigated gall to not do what I say? To dishonor me and let everybody look at me like I'm crazy? Do y'all know the authority I got, the power I got to take your life? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not you serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I set up? See, these men don't serve idols. The Lord, our God, he is one. And thou shalt have no other God before him. Serve the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. Worship the Lord your God, him only shall you serve. Now you want me to pledge allegiance to some thing you done set up? King, that ain't going to happen. Now, if you be ready, at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psalter, and the duclamer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the image which I have made well. It's going to be all right for you. But if you don't worship my God, if you don't worship my image, you're going to be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Who big enough? Who bold enough? Who bad enough? What God you serve, they're going to get you out of my hand. I'm the king. When I speak, what my word is, that's power. My orders are executed immediately. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, see, kings don't even know who Yahweh is. They answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we're not careful to answer you in this matter. If it be so, if you put us in that furnace, because we're not bowing, that's already established. Get that. We ain't dancing to your music. So if you put us in the furnace, our God, whom we serve, we don't just talk about him. We serve him. We know him. Is able, he has the ability, the capacity to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. He's saying, notice they say if you put us in there. He didn't say he's going to deliver us from going in. But if you put us in there, he's going to deliver us from everything you think the furnace can do to us. Your furnace can't do anything to us because of the God that we serve's ability. He's going to preserve us in the furnace. We already got a promise when we go through the fire, it will not be kindled against us. So, and he will deliver us, and he will deliver us out of your hand. If you put us in there, the fire ain't going to burn us. And your power ain't going to kill us when we come out. The God that we serve is able to deliver us from the furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand. Your Hebrew word for hand is yud. Your power, your ability, your capacity. O king, but if not, if you don't put us in there, they're not talking about whether he delivers us or not, he's still able. That's religion. That's foolishness. No, they telling you if you put us in there, he's going to deliver us from the furnace, and he's able to deliver us out of your hand. And he's telling us this. Be it known, O king. If you don't put us in there, be it known. We want to tell you before you think about it. If you put us in there, God going to deliver us and preserve us in there. The fire ain't going to kill us. If you don't put us in there, be this known, O king, we will not serve nor worship the golden image that you have set up. Either way it go, we not serving your God. Now, if you punish us by putting us in the furnace, God gonna get us out. If you want to come up with some deal to not put us in there, no deal. We're not striking any compromise because we're not going in the furnace. If you put us in there, God getting us out. If you don't put us in there, we ain't bowing. So you do what you're gonna do because we're gonna obey God rather than you. Will you obey under pressure is my question. This is real pressure. This is life-threatening pressure. This is life-ending pressure. You know, King kind of heads rolling. But not for these men. These men know their God, and they're not just talking on the top of their head. This ain't fake faith. This is the real deal. Okay? Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury. You know, we just say he mad. And the form of his visage, his face changed. He's frowning now. He's angry. Changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times hotter than it's ever been heated before. 7 times hotter than it's ever been heated before. If it's never been heated that hot before, who knows if the furnace itself can even handle that heat? Who knows if it's going to blow up and explode? But he's so mad, he don't care. Just do it. And he's the king, so they did it. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He thought they were going to try to run and wrestle and get away from that heat. That's why he wanted his strongest men to hold them. He could have got his weakest men because they were not running. Watch this. And cast them, throw them, we say in the country, chunk them into the burning fire furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. He threw them in there, but watch this. Therefore, because the king's commandment was so urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, hotter than anybody ever seen it before, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They had to get close enough to put them in. And the heat, the flame burnt them up. The flame took them out. Now watch this. These 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell because who was throwing them in there couldn't place them to break. They just dropped them. They got burnt up. They fell down in the midst of the furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished and rose up in haste because he expected them to pop like popcorn. He thought they was going to die like his big men did. They in there walking around. They ain't running, jumping. They walking around talking. He said, didn't we cast in 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, well, lo, check this out. Peep this. I see 4 men and they loose. They not bound. They walking. They ain't running, jumping, trying to get out. They walking in the midst of the fire. They walking in there probably talking about it. You know, if it was a bunch of us, we'd be high-fiving. Come on, with the hands up, praising the Lord. And they walking around in the fire. And they have no hurt. It ain't bothering them. They walking like they're not even in fire, but I see the fire. And the form, the visage, the shape, the size of the 4th, he probably saw that glory on that angel. It's like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the furnace. He's so shocked he forgot the thing hot. He got close. They killed his men when they got close. Well, see, that angel is in there now. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you servants of the Most High God. Oh, he ain't flipping. Now he was saying, who is this God that's going to deliver you out of my hand? Now he said, you serving El Elyon, servants of El Elyon, the Most High God. Come forth. He didn't send nobody in to get him. He told them to come out. You notice he didn't call the 4th man out. I guess he said, I ain't put him in. I ain't messing with him. And the princes and the governors and the captains, the counselors, they gathered together and saw these men upon whose bodies the fire, the king's wrath, king's punishment, had no power. nor was a hair of their head singed, neither were their coats charged, nor the smell of fire passed on them. This fire touched them not, had absolutely no effect, didn't even smell like they had been in it. But they know it's hot because it killed their strongest 3 men. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, now he just called him El Elyon. Now he's saying, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Blessed be Elohim of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel. Now he ain't even talked to them yet. He know what he saw in that furnace. See, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they was on staff, but them boys been witnessing. They've been talking about El Elyon. They've been talking about the angel of the Lord encamped round about them that fear him. They've been talking about that God and how awesome he is. And Nebuchadnezzar been hearing it, but he thought he had this little island, his demon. But now he found out this God that they serve is the God. He a bad boy. He said, now what? Now he testifying. He said, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. This God sent his angel. This God delivered his servants that trusted in him and have changed the king's word. This God changed the king's words. The king's word was, you're going to burn up in that furnace. They said we not, and this God stood with them. And they yielded their body. They trusted in God and yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any God except their own. Do you trust them like that? See, I'm asking the question. Will you obey under pressure? This real pressure right here. This ain't no fake pressure. So you can't have no fake faith. You can't have no fake commitment. You got to be all in to walk like this. Therefore, I make a decree. This king who's asking, who is this God? Now he's making a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss. Now they just saw when you don't bow to my idol, you burn or you get through in the fire. These men didn't burn. They were thrown in there. So in other words, when the king say something, he back it up. King's word don't get changed like that. He said, now, but you say anything against their God, anything against Elohim of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you're going to be cut in pieces, and your house going to be made a dunghill. No, he ain't even using the furnace no more. He said, forget that thing. Because there is no other. This is the king who want to know who is this God. There is no other God that can deliver after this sort. Can't no other God on this planet or under this planet or in the heavenlies, the stellar heavens, first 2 heavens above the earth, deliver after this sort. Hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft, obi men, witches, wizards, warlocks, they can't deliver like this. They can't preserve life like this. We ain't never seen nothing like this. Can't no demon power do this. You know idols can't do nothing anyway. No other God can deliver after this sort. And you know he said you're going to deliver us out of your hand. Now he had already gave them one position. Now they get promoted again. What got them promoted? Their faith in God. God promoted them because they stood. The king thought to annihilate them, to eliminate them. God promoted them. See, you got to be able to stand under pressure before you get the reward for standing under pressure. So that's why I'm asking, will you obey? See, they knew the Lord our God, he is one. They knew the Lord our God, you serve him. Him only shall you serve. You don't worship no other God. Okay, what man threaten you with? You stand for God. You don't get wise and change the name and talk about the Son and all these other names. Jesus, you stay with Jesus, the name that the devil can't handle. You don't try to use wisdom. You use faith and obedience to let the devil know, I love Jesus. Yes, I do. I love Jesus and I'm not going to be intimidated by you. I'm not ashamed of the gospel or his name. You got to stand, beloved. So I'm just asking, will you stand under pressure? You really don't know till you get there. But in the meantime, you should be working out. I'm talking about your faith now. You should be meditating, working, using your faith everywhere you can. Check yourself when you're tempted to lie. That's all it takes to make. No. Stand up. Speak the truth. Go back to meditating that word, looking for something different, so that God can move for you, so that God can move in you, so that God can use you in a hard time. He can tap your shoulder and say, I need you to take this because I know you'll stand from it. Meet me this Sunday night, March 23rd, 6:30 p.m., 9101 Lou Drive, right here in the city of Little Rock. I'll be preaching an old-fashioned Book of Acts, power-packed Holy Ghost service. One night only, 6:30 p.m. Sunday night, March 23rd, Little Rock, Arkansas. Be there, bring a friend, share a miracle. Remember this, you born again to win. I don't care how hot they heat the furnace, how tight the game is, whatever battle you in, you always win. And always remember this, Jesus will pull you through if you can stand the pull.